Hello and welcome back to part 2 of my Grombrindal Immortal Empires playthrough, where today I sense we're going to settle many grudges against the skaven. Now, we are sieging the altar of ultimate darkness here. Wow, that's a mouthful. If we take a look at their garrison, they have taken some attrition. The question is, do I want to launch the attack this turn? If we go ahead and attack, I did build a battering ram, so now we do have, because we don't have any siege attacker units, but we can attack now we have the battering ram. It's mostly clan rat spears, clan rats. We've got one skaven slave spears, and then the skaven slaves, as well as slingers. I think we could take on this army. It says a close victory, so let's go ahead and start the episode with a big siege battle for the altar of ultimate darkness here. So here we go. We've managed to get a sneak attack on the skaven settlement here, sneaking round the mountains out of range from their towers as we send in our miners to go and take down the gate. Gyrocopters going for a bombing run. Look at that, beautiful stuff. A few dead bodies. But let's go straight back to the gate. The miners hacking away now. Shouldn't be too long before they deal with this gate. If we check the HP, they've already done over half of its HP. The miners are very good at destroying gates in sieges. As we send off our gyrocopters here to deal with this enemy tower. Again, the gyrocopters are also very good at towers. We have a lot of units that are good at very specific things in this army, which I like, although they are taking fire from the slingers now. As we've already destroyed the gate, we move the miners back out. They've done their job. Grombrindal and the runesmith charging into the settlement. No fear. Many grudges against the skaven to be settled today. As we take a look, we've got some skaven on the walls too. As we move our crawlers into position here. They should start to get some shots off. Eventually. We've also got some thunderers here. Of course, nowhere good to place them right now, because they do need straight line of fire to shoot. As we look at our iron drakes moving into the settlement. Struggling to get a shot off at the moment. I think I had to move them further inwards to actually get a shot off. So they are taking a bit of fire. As we come in here, Grombrindal, of course, there we go, there's the Iron Drakes. And Grombrindal, of course, now has his Rune of Spite, so when he's in melee like this, he's actually doing DPS to all of the skaven around him. So we can also see the runesmith in the background getting some shots off there. But just look at the White Dwarf. Just wielding that big axe of his. That's going to kill many skaven today. We actually see the skaven try and engage with our iron drake, so I pull them out of the settlement and I move forward, I believe, some dwarf warriors here. Yeah, we go over here, like, I've engaged the skaven with some dwarf warriors just to try and keep our iron drakes safe. Hopefully the iron drakes don't commit friendly fire like we saw in the last episode. But going back over here to the runesmith and Grombrindal. Already covered in blood. The blood of skaven. As good as any to be covered in. Just look at those swings. I could watch this all day, honestly. I absolutely love zooming into the battles like this. Just look at him go. The skaven ranged units getting plenty of shots off into our army here. So it looks like we have destroyed this tower, and now I've moved the gyrocopters over to destroy this tower too. So the gyrocopters putting in plenty of work as well. The whole army knowing their specific role. And we've actually taken care of the unit on the wall, so now we're moving in our crawlers, and I believe we've also got some thunderers up here in the center, as well as a crawler unit on this side. So now we've taken over this wall, we have a really good vantage point to fire down from. Just waiting for our units to all get up there. And we have fully surrounded the skaven here. They're trapped in a gate, so nowhere to run, no matter how much they want to. I wish I could zoom in a bit more under the gate, but sadly the collision. Maybe I can download a no collision camera mod. I think there's one in Warhammer 2. So we can see our runesmith throwing down a melee attack buff. Already a sea of dead skaven around the both of them. This is how we settle grudges. These skaven blowing their war horns, calling in reinforcements. We look up at the wall, we've got a lot more dwarf range units now as they begin to fire into the enemy. That's only going to add to the carnage surrounding Grombrindal. We actually begin to see the Skaven retreat. You see that a lot of the Skaven, they're not a very strong faction when it comes to willpower. Their leaders are, but yeah, their units just, they have to be forced back into battle over and over. But to be honest, I don't blame them. If I was against someone like Grombrindal and his Iron Drakes and Quarrelers and Thunderers, I don't think I would want to go and charge in either. So we see that mighty two-handed swing there. Just sending the rats flying. Just look at him go. No one can fight him. And we actually begin to move all of our dwarf warriors into the settlement now, just so we can catch any retreating Skaven and make sure they don't get up on the walls. So we've definitely secured this wall now, and we also move some miners outside just in case some Skaven do get through. Yeah, there's no retreat this way for them. Retreat, surrender! Retreat, surrender! As they scream. Some Skaven do decide to turn back around and fight. You can see their leadership falling greatly. Well, it's almost like the Skaven are trying to siege us, the way we just have control of this wall now. Let's go and look at our gyrocopters. The Skaven have rebuilt this tower, but our gyrocopters shooting it and making very short work of it. There we go. Our gyrocopters were definitely pulling in a good shift in this fight. And we can finally see we have moved our Iron Drakes into the settlement properly. And instantly you can tell that they're here. Just absolutely melting this unit of Skaven. There we go as we maneuver them into position. Oh, just look at that firepower. Crazy scenes. And you can see the gyrocopters actually retreating now because they have taken a lot of damage. Luckily we didn't lose any of them, but yeah, they were quite low on HP. You see Skaven reinforcements coming in, but just being met with a wall of fire. How do you even begin to fight this? And our runesmith throwing another melee buff. And I imagine it won't be too long now before we have the victory. The Skaven have very poor leadership to begin with, but they are sending in more reinforcements. Let's see if this wave can do better than the last. You see our Quarrelers up on that wall just have amazing range. And there's the fire. The Skaven begin to turn around, but it's too late. Beautiful things. And I think that is the Horn of Retreat there. I think that is the final retreat. There we go. I think that is the Skaven done. As we just look upon the wall. Quarrelers still firing off, making sure they do run away. And there we go. A decisive victory. And just like that, a close victory turned into a decisive victory with only 6 losses. I did much better than I thought I would in that siege. Our Iron Drakes eventually becoming useful and that, getting 200 kills. But look at Grombrindal, 354 kills. That's just, wow. The White Dwarf definitely lives up to the legends. But let's get back onto the campaign map now and siege this settlement. So there we go, 135 gold and 1.7k experience as we get another level up for Grombrindal there. And of course we will occupy it because I don't think I want to sack this. As much as the 27 oath gold would be nice, I want to make sure I can occupy it this turn, 100%. We got a new follower. Dwarfs excel at digging, not the crude tunnels of skaven and goblins, but masterful underground passages. They can also use such skills when besieging the enemy. So you get plus 10% when under siege. Attrition. Oh yeah, the enemy get attrition when we siege them, of course. Province secured. We have attained complete control of this province. It is now possible to issue a commandment across the land, so the Iron Coast is now ours. But let's give Grombrindal a level up. So I think we're going to go into absolutely relentless again. Change that 5% campaign movement to 10%. So it basically cost us 3 skill points to get what Route Marcher was in the Warhammer 2. But that's okay. As we get a level up with our Runesmith too, I think we should get the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Get some damage under his belt. Very nice. And look at that, we're going to be fully healed at the end of the turn. That's yeah, that's incredible. I do love the dwarfs. So what building do we have it? We have a growth building. I don't think I want that. I think I will replace that with an economy building. Because growth doesn't feel too important right now. And maybe I will upgrade this to get quarrelers. Where do we get Iron Drakes from, I wonder? What tier are they at? So that's Iron Drakes but with torpedoes. So we get Iron Drakes at tier 3. They use the Siege Workshop. So I think I will save my gold so we can get tier 3 and then we will get the Siege Workshop. Where is it? There it is. And get some more Iron Drakes and Thunderers and Cannons. Okay, yeah, very nice. That's actually beautiful. So let's recruit some units. We can go with Grudge Throwers or Bolt Throwers because we need a Siege Attacker. So our Grudge Throwers are armor piercing missiles and anti-infantry with a range of 440. Very nice. Or we can get armor piercing missiles and anti-large. Will we be facing any anti-large anytime soon? I don't think right now. So let's go ahead and get 2 Grudge Thrower units. Of course with that Siege Attacker. And they're Grudge Throwers. Every Dwarven army needs a Grudge Thrower. There we go. Let's get those into the army. We do have some Beastmen here. I don't have any movement to attack them. I can send a warning. So send a warning to the trespassing faction to leave your territory at once. If they fail to leave in 2 rounds, you can declare war on them without having to suffer treachery penalties for breaking non-aggression pacts and trade agreements. Yeah, I'm going to send them a warning because they are raiding me and taking my gold. And I do need my gold. I'm a bit worried about how exposed I am here. This seems like quite a hard province to defend. We can build something in Dracula's Spire. Quarrelers... yeah, we're not going to spend the gold on that now. But let's do some research. So we can get Masterwork Crossbows. Plus 10% base missile damage for ranger units. And plus 10% missile strength for quarrelers. That could be very nice. Or we can get ammunition wagons, plus 20% for missile infantry units. I think I'm going to go for ammunition wagons. More ammo is very useful, plus we will unlock a few more things down here. So let's go with ammunition wagons. Let's take a look at our diplomacy. Is there anything available to us? Doesn't appear to be. Okay. So no alliances, we are alone. Now, before we advance into the Iron Mountains, because we will want to take this, as the Skaven are retreating to Recto Gorge, I think we will actually march north and just raise Iron Thrust so we have a bit of a buffer to the Norskins. Because if we go down here and they come down, then I think even with the underweight, we haven't really got much chance of catching them. So I think next turn we will start marching north to Iron Frost. Just double check I've done everything. We only have 37 oath gold. And before I forget, I did attach the Rune of Spite last episode, didn't I? Yeah, there we go. So I think that's why Grombrindal was able to get so many kills. But let's go ahead. Oh, we can't end our turn. I almost forgot the commandment. So we can get Venerate the Ancestors, Control and minus Corruption, High King's Tribute, income from all buildings, plus 5%. We can get plus 15 growth, minus 10% construction cost, and tradable resources produced, or recruitment cost and recruitment capacity. I think we would go with the growth, because I'm not really building growth buildings at the moment, so we do need growth from somewhere. Plus the construction cost discount is also very nice, so let's go with Empower the Guilds. And now we can finally end our turn. Trespassing warning ignored. Ripper Horn Tribe has ignored your warning to stop trespassing upon your territory. Perhaps matters should be taken into your own hands. Now, they are still in my territory, but they did stop raiding, so I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully they don't attack me. We're not at war, so that shouldn't be a problem. And the Skaven did retreat to Wakdo Gorge, so they shouldn't be a threat for a few turns. So if I move my army up here, we're going to take attrition as well. Corn Corruption and Chaos Undivided Corruption. Yeah, we really need to just create a buffer. What's their balance of power like? We are stronger than them. So I think we won't declare war this turn, we'll declare war next turn. Do I want to add anyone else to my army? We have a front line here. We do have siege attackers now. I could get in 2 bolt throwers if I really wanted to. In fact, I think I might, just for that anti-large. Although that would really tank our income every turn. So maybe it's best to wait. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and build a trinket maker. That would give us an extra 200 gold per turn. And then how much does a bolt thrower cost? 138, so almost off balance. Balances out having 2 bolt throwers. We do lose about, what is that, 76 gold? But I think 2 bolt throwers for 76 gold per turn is actually very nice. And they might be able to take out towers effectively in sieges, so let's go for that. So the beastmen here are coming south. They shouldn't be a problem. The skaven are over here. They shouldn't be able to take this. Although how strong is our garrison? They're quite weak, but we should be okay with dwarves. Malekith has disappeared. So yeah, it looks like it's safe to end our turn. I will check diplomacy every turn. Are exiles of Nehek? No, they're losing reputation. Dark. We are gaining reputation with Malekith, but I don't think we can set our grudge aside to ally with him. He's Malekith has got to pay for what he's done in the past. But let's go ahead and end our turn. Okay, so despite trusting the beastmen here, they are on Elder Spire. We have a tiny garrison. Oh, I really hope they don't attack and like raise it or something. I really need to deal with the threat from the north. But maybe this threat is bigger? Oh, that's a hard decision. We knew that Grombrindal would be faced with many hard decisions in this campaign. There's a lot of enemies nearby. Do I think they're going to attack this? The beastmen are quite strong. What do we actually have in this garrison? We have 3 miners, 4 miners, 1 with blasting charges, and dwarf warriors, 2 units essentially. That would be a very tough battle, I feel. But we do need to go and take out Iron Frost as well. So I think Grombrindal is going to go ahead with his plan. Once we have this buffer, we can gun back south. If we do lose that settlement, we can take it back. So, how do I declare war? Yep, this one. Oh, is that Valkyr they're allied with? It's okay, we're going to declare the war. There we go. As we march northwards. It's a decisive victory. They don't really have much of a force at all. Should we manually fight it and get another battle win? I think we would take far fewer losses if we did manually fight it. So I think I will manually fight it, just so if the beastmen do something stupid, we can go and retaliate with a full force. So let's go ahead and fight this battle. So here we go, our second siege of today, and of course we now have our newly acquired bolt throwers here, as well as our grudge throwers. As we get a look at them, the dwarven machinery really does look cool. As we see the grudge throwers firing off, the bolt throwers also firing off. Look at that, good scenes. As we go towards the settlement, we see our gyrocopters ahead, getting off a bombing run. Grombrindal leading his iron drakes and crawlers. Already fire in the settlement as they shoot another round of bombs into the infantry. And we actually begin to fire some shots into their units now, as the enemy didn't actually build any towers right away. So the gyrocopters flexible in their role. As you can see, grudge throwers coming in. Oh, just missing the target. Of course, very hard to hit something at that range. But we do have Grombrindal and the runesmith once again going head on into battle. It's very easy to understand now why the dwarfs are so inspired whenever Grombrindal showed up in battle. The man, or the dwarf, sorry. Oh, that's going in the book. Grombrindal, of course, never scared to charge into a battle. So we see our iron drakes moving in. Their cannons of fire. And right behind them, our crawlers. Both of these units doing amazing things. We keep most of our infantry out of the battle here, just because it was a very easy battle. So we bring in the iron drakes, already causing carnage upon the Norskans. They might worship the chaos gods, but they haven't seen fire like the fire from our iron drake cannons. And a wrath of ruin there, a ruin of wrath, sorry. Our runesmith making use of his newly acquired rune. And if we go over here, we should see Grombrindal in melee combat somewhere here amongst the flames. There he goes, charging in with his axe in the background. But the iron drake's melting the enemies before he can get too many kills. And the enemy are retreating. If we go and look at our gyrocopters now, the enemy had built a tower for us to focus on. Our gyrocopters making sure they take that down to defend our units. And it looks like the entry of the siege has been secured. So you can see Grombrindal now and the runesmith coming over here just to try and capture this capture point. So by the time we got over here, the enemy had built a barricade, so now Grombrindal and his runesmith taking down the wall. And I can also hear some gyrocopters behind us taking down the enemy tower. Now see, we've got our crawlers over here just positioned in case of an enemy flank, as well as our iron drakes who are actually taking fire from a distant tower. So we decide to actually charge them in and deal with this unit over here. The enemy infantry turn around feeling brave. The iron drakes stop, prepare to fire. If we just look at their health pool, they were at 4 health and already now below half. Although the enemy haven't had enough. They're coming in for a second charge. And there we go. That is enough to break them. And we actually begin to attack this barricade up here now with our crawlers. So we can soon enough begin a charge for the main victory point, the center of their settlement. Gyrocopters coming over here to deal with this tower in the distance. And let's see, Grombrindal and the runesmith have now captured this capture point. Very nice. So if we cut forwards a little bit, you can see both crawler units now and the Iron Drakes advancing upon this barricade. The Iron Drakes firing off some fire. It shouldn't be too long before we destroy that. And just as I say it, the barricade is down. The assault on the center of this settlement now begins. As our Iron Drakes come charging in. They do have some cavalry units, which, if used smartly, might be able to outflank us or outspeed us, because we are dwarfs. We are fairly slow on our feet. But the cavalry just don't look like they have the willpower here, or the leadership to make such a move. Still, we left all of our infantry outside our melee units, but as you can see, we really don't need them, as the cavalry begin to take the fire from our Iron Drakes. And there's the horn of retreat. It shouldn't be too long now before the victory is fully ours. You see another infantry unit trying to defend the settlement, but we just have too much flame for them to be able to handle. Although they don't retreat, they decide to throw some axes back. I'll give it to them, they are brave, but a second volley of fire should break the confidence that they did have. And there we go, we see them also retreat. And I think that's their entire army now deciding to abandon the settlement. Grombrindal showing that even though with no allies in his immediate surrounding, he is not a dwarf to be messed with. And there we go, we see all of the barricades break, the enemy deciding to leave the settlement for good. And a decisive victory. There we go, a decisive victory with only 3 losses. Once again, the Iron Drakes getting in plenty of kills. Also, our grudge throwers and bolt throwers did help out quite a bit there, as well as our gyrocopters taking out those towers that were shooting down upon our units. But let's get straight back to the campaign map. There we go, so 118 gold and 1.5k XP, which is very nice. We really don't get much gold from sieges anymore. But if we go ahead and raise it, we will get another 350 gold and then get that buffer we wanted to the north. So Grombrindal does have a level up now. Let's go ahead and get that 3rd point in Absolutely Relentless for that plus 15% campaign movement range. That's crazy. And then our runesmith also has another level up. We could get a rune of Oath and Steel, which gives plus 30 armor. We could upgrade the rune of Wrath and Ruin. Damping enemy winds of magic power reserve change. Minus 10% when increasing local region. I'm not sure I understand that one. And the rune of slowness. Minus 45% speed, charge speed, and charge bonus. I think we will just max the rune of Wrath and Ruin so we can get more damage off. There we go. And can we get back out if we force march? I don't know, I can't see the movement for force march. Although, we're not taking attrition now anyway because they don't control us anymore. So we should be fine. Hopefully the beastmen don't attack us. Can we build anything here? We can level up the Altar of Ultimate Darkness. We do get our growth building next turn, which will help our growth a bit. But really we want to get this to tier 3. So then we can upgrade this and get more Iron Drakes. Upgrade our Siege Workshop to a Gunsmith's Forge. But if we upgrade the Altar of Ultimate Darkness, we can get a tier 2 Trinket Master also. Which would be... So we got 200 gold, 300 gold. There would be an extra 100 income, which I think would be super useful. So let's go for that. Let's upgrade the Altar of Ultimate Darkness. And let's see if we have any diplomacy to do. Yeah, the Exiles of Nehek, it's sad. No diplomacy. We knew this would be a struggle. But that's all I have time for today. we will, in the next episode, I think we're going to come down, sort out the Beastmen, and then see about going to Recto Gorge and taking the Iron Mountains here. Is it a one settlement province? No, they also have Shrotak Mount down here, so I believe that's ogres. Yeah, the ogre kingdom, so that would be an interesting fight, possibly. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate the support on the videos lately. If you have any suggestions for names for our heroes, then leave them in the comments on the first episode, just so they're all in one place. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in tomorrow's episode.